Hello everyone, this is Maffuman coming to the StarCraftII. We got a 6-on-6 ship-building action game starring double dreadnoughts, one from Human and one from Cobalt. Human has those repair bots, means he has a little bit less speed, 1.61. 1.61 right there, but he's got that upgrade, which is 1,000 extra life in the very beginning. Minion's going to come on in with some standard looking 4 lasers to farm, 9 range on his backlash rockets. Cygnus X got that plague as a Oowowweeee. HWC coming on in. He's got those laser batteries only at 2. 1.71 speed though makes up for it. Thor is here on the blue side. He's going to come on in. He's got those 4 lasers. Definitely loves farming. We got Onyxet coming on in. He's got those burst lanes, 1.81 speed, but no abilities. No abilities as a rating. Means he has, free hands to shield if he so chooses to save Persevera right there. Persevera is going to Persevere. Doing a little bit of shield right there, but got that plague. Cygnus X knows what his Oowowweeee is there for. They're going to try to push up Persevera. I'm not sure if they're going to quite get him in the very first, minute of the game. Minion's going to try to, he's got those 2 missiles, and, maybe if Cobalt goes in, Cobalt gets scared off by Jack. And it looks like Persevera is going to take a bunch of damage. Raven's got some shields, and I think he's they're just trying to move on in there. He wanted to just farm. He just wanted to just farm. But he couldn't quite do that. We got Thorus here. He's, trying to defend. He's got lasers instead of longer missiles. He wants to farm, but he can't do it because everyone's on his base. We got Shensin back there. Opens up with some, he started off with some interceptors and is warping up to right there. There we go. Now he's got 7 instead of 5. He used the warp to be in motion while he's also upgrading, which is great. Sending his interceptors over to do some damage. Trying to maybe hurt somebody over here. The red side has a stranglehold on them. And Jack had opened up with Secret Missile. Jack opened up with Secret Missile, so he is doing some damage. Now the red side is, at the base. They are farming. They are increasing that top number right there. And that's also to be expected for a bunch of reasons. Number one, Onyxet wants to farm. That's a fine idea, A-okay. I'm always alright with farming. But not having an ability does, limit how much effective damage you can do to the other team, or EMP somebody. Basically that plus a plague is always a good way of doing damage to them, forcing them to go back. It ignores shields. Plus double dreadnought is nothing to sneeze at. Double dreadnought means that they have 2 tanks and the blue side has 0 tanks. Tanks are good for pushing up and taking damage, and we had one of them, Human, starts off with those repair bots to be more tanky when he's out of combat, heal on up. Cobalt, instead of healing, he just has more health. 1,000 extra life in the very beginning is a lot, and it actually makes you kind of it's a easy thing to forget about. If you got Jack pushing on up, says, hey, you're a straggler, boom, HWC. HWC, you were just trying to farm. You have a whole bunch of money, about 700. Human, who missed, but still has a 352, 621 from this frigate, Mignon. And Cygnus has 500, HWC 700, and 596. So the blue side is pushing up a base, sort of. But the red side has retreated in time to spend all that money. And not be in too much danger right there. Shensin trying to farm, but interceptors are the way of doing it for a carrier. That's why he has start with 5. He has 7 now. He even has plasma surge to make them even more durable. But they are good for farming at the moment, and not quite enough for something else. We got Thor is here, and Thor will be gone if either of these Ravens don't decide to heal him. We got double Ravens. We got an EMP drop. We got 1 Raven hitting right now. We got Onyxet deciding to heal up Persevera right now, and that is helpful because that's a little bit less damage to him. But we got EMP using is that enough to take out Thor's here? It is, and Human takes out Thor is here. Shensin moving on back, 1.61 speed. He's the carrier. He is a very susceptible ship, and he gets very close. And Human knows that he's going to try to push as much as possible. He's not going to take him out, but maybe, nope, not quite get him into the full damage. These are not spawned by Shensin. They're just the House of Tempests, and they came in at just enough time. So Onyxet saying, oh good lord, that they took some damage, but no, just 1 extra ship. It's the very beginning, it's a 5. It's a 6 versus ship building combat game, but it happens. You lose people, it happens. They go away from you, they leave you, they stop the fight to your DMs. Whatever the case might be, you have to deal with loss sometimes. But look at this, we got Jack and Onyxet is the healers, and the red side has 0 healers. They have 2 tanks, but they have no healers. So Cobalt is on his own with his repair bots, and so will MaffumanCasting be right there. And HWC can get like Biosteel, but none of them can be healed shieldedly in combat. Shieldedly is the word of the day. We got Jack coming on in. He wants to just get enough energy to keep on Secret Missiling, because that's what he's always going to do. Secret Missile is going to do 2650 damage at chasing at 15 seconds, and 15 seconds is a long time. You can even be upgraded to do more damage and to chase for longer. Good shot right there, protected field from Cobalt, reducing the damage dealt by abilities to 25%, I believe. Secret Missile is an ability. If not, it was just increases armor by 50. Either way, it's a lot less. One is mathematically much more, a lot less, but they're both a lot less. So it looks like the blue side is gonna try to make their attack. Shensin, Pace has to put his hard money into his interceptors, he definitely does. Carriers are really good when they get a lot of money, and for a long time, interceptors are like the thing you love. And he's trying to do that. We got a nice 3 people moving back. Let's check out the money situation. Minion has a 734. Let's see what he puts that into. I mean, 1.92 speed? 1.92 speed is the zippiest guy out there. And let's see what else he puts that into. MaffumanCasting and Cobalt, about 4 late 4s for both of them. HWC 400 and Cygnus X 600. Now, for me, I retreat early and often, so I kind of retreat once I get about like 300, which is maybe a little bit too early. You can push it, it's just how much risky you want to be, because there's only 1 life. We noticed that the one guy died in the beginning, he is not going to come back. There's no respawn in Star Battle, and that is the fun of the game. We got the blue side saying that they need to retreat now. Now that's not actually wrong, because the red side, although they were injured, they weren't injured enough that they could never attack. And see this, they got plenty of space. Persevere is not going to get hit. Cobalt and HWC maybe want to push but can't quite do it. Everybody's just slow retreating. We got Jack at about 500, Shensin about 400-ish, Persevere 240, and Onyxet 600. All pretty decent showings, and you definitely do not want to die rich. Onyxet has a bio, or body odor. We're gonna go for Blackout. He doesn't have it just yet. He might just get it. That actually could make a big old difference, because almost everybody is a mechanical unit except for Cygnus X. Cygnus X is immune to Blackout because he's an experienced overlord who it doesn't affect biological ships. Shensin now does have Tempests. Tempests are a great way of dealing a lot of damage at a long distance, and that is super helpful when you have tanks. So that's a good move right there. They're also super great against overlords as well. It is sort of somewhat an expected thing to do, but it's expected because it's also a good strategy. You can keep on pouring money into this, and by you can keep on, I mean you are forced to, because they are super expensive. They not only cost 225 energy to create, you can only have 3 of them at a time. 225 is your entire starting energy. You upgraded that, it's possible money to do so. You also have to put money into them to make them do more damage, which is great, but it costs money. And that's money that's not going into interceptor, that's money that's not going into lasers or whatever, other basic stat upgrades, and 1.61 speed is super slow. But if it helps the Tempest be more Tempesty, that's great. Golden Armada on the way. Jack launching his Secret Missile, 22 seconds, doing 2,770. And let's see if that actually chases down the frigate. I think it goes around 1.81 speed, so his 1.92 is a little bit higher than that. He may or may not. But he basically has to retreat. He doesn't have Blink, right? It's because he's not a Void Ray. So he had to basically turn around and say, I'm not part of combat for the entirety of that time. MaffumanCasting wasn't in mortal danger, but he would have had to sacrifice and take some damage should he have chosen to be a good buddy. Cygnus X moving on up. He just likes the Plague. Everybody likes Plague, right? He upgraded it. Oh, it does, I got the Super Plague, got the Bubonic Plague, we got that Corona virus. 1600 damage plus 1700 to biological. Ignore that because there ain't nobody who's biological here. That's but it costs 150 instead of 100 now. Persevere, moving on out there. He's got those afterburners moving on out. He does have to rely on them though. I mean, we got Minion doing so much damage. 10 upgrades. Blackout saved him. Look at that. Persevere at like 400. Another round of this would have most easily taken it out. But double shield is great. But the Blackout is the reason why he could not shoot and had very no chance of killing him right there. So great save by whoever did that. We're gonna say it's Onixet because Jack Gold got it. Onixet, great job there, buddy. We got Persevere. Limping back to base, 1.71 speed. I mean, 1.71 speed is not bad to have. It's actually not as fast as, like, you should be going. But some ships do decide that it's better to put in that extra good money. Ascension, launching at his temps do take damage, and NSH Human decides it's good enough to push on in there. Nice shot using the Plasma Surge to keep those Tempests alive a little bit longer. Otherwise, the Dreadnought would have been meaning to them. Persevere, unfortunately, gets a Plague right there. Frigates are great to Plague. Actually, everybody on this team is great to Plague. Persevere can't, heal himself. He's not like a BC that has, Biosteel. He's not like a Dreadnought that has repair bots. And he doesn't have very much health. So 1 or 2 Plagues is in the red. And Onixet and Jack are similar. If you can get close enough to Plague a carrier, that's no good either. Persevere wants to persevere and push on up. And that makes sense. It's just, the damage that Minion does and how fast he is a little bit hard to deal with, even with double healers. Ravens are trying to protect the Tempest, but it's kind of a losing game because Ravens can't launch interceptors. They're only relying on their burst lasers. Look at this. He's trying, but the Mutalisks are too Mutalisky. Upgraded 4 times. And I think they do bounce. I'm almost positive. I can't see that close, but I'm just going to believe that they can bounce. I think it does say that they can. Look at that. Which makes them kind of okay-ish. They're not quite interceptors, but they're okay, Plague. Plague on the Tempest, well, it does affect them. Plague will go right through shields and affect the hull damage, and it does make them a little bit less, tanky. Not that they're tanky at all, but makes them less lively until they're dead. We got Jack shooting up. We got a little EMP and Secret Missile combination. Wombo combo. We got Persevere trying to farm. Persevere getting Plagued. Cygnus saying, this is my move. I've got the one move, and this is the move that I love. It makes sense. Lots of Overlords do decide that Plague is like their main way of doing sustained damage. And it is super effective. For 150, you can do some lasting permanent damage. Ascension, moving in. Now he's not controlling these Tempests, because that's not what they do. You just spawn them, and then they're independently going to move towards base and shoot whatever comes in their way. And whatever comes in their way in the form of a battle station or, capital ship. We got a defensive shield being used. As we were mentioning, the red side does not have any healers, so, Blackout. The only way of him being more tanky is just to be more tanky. He has defensive shield. 750 damage is just added to his total amount. It has no shield, it has no armor associated with it. It's just 750 straight damage with no, armor bonus or production. Double Tempest. And they're just going to push on through it. That's a good way of doing it. You want your interceptors to help out. No, I want to pick them. The Tempests only have a certain amount of life, so no matter what you do, you can't upgrade how much health they have. But it's just a matter of time before they die. Persevere, moving on back. Now he was in the red, but when you're in the red, you start burning shields before you start burning life. So he was more fine than one would imagine with as little health as he had. There we go. Now Cygnus X has even more abilities. He's got a Plague, of course. He's got his Contaminate, which slows down all enemy units in the target area, reducing their attack speed by 50%. And that is fantastic to use against interceptors, and also a frigate. That doesn't particularly hurt or help using it against the burst laser there, but the other stuff is great. That's half the team. And Side Blast is the other thing that people love when they get from their Overlord. You do some lasting damage with Plague, and you do some Side Blast to just Kamehameha them down. He's going to move on in. He's deciding that it is worth it. Now, he can only launch his Plague at 12 range, which is a lot. But you will probably take some damage in order to do so. We got all types of little bluey guys around here. All types of bubbles. We got the defensive shield right there from HWC. We saw some Dreadnought protective fields from Cobalt and Maffuman. They do slightly different things, but these Tempests are really helping right now. The Tempests are really helping. If they're not killing the other ships, they're at least putting counter pressure on them. The Dreadnoughts love being right at base, right farming, right in the Goldilocks zone, and they're very positional. But if you can do damage at a far distance, then they really, have no other choice but to just take the damage. Their laser batteries are upgraded, and they're only at 9 range. Gatling Cannon's upgraded, but the range is not affected there. It's only at 8 and can never get more than 8. Unlike, HWC, he upgraded it a little bit, yep. 10 on his laser batteries, and, 11 on his longbow missiles. Basically, whenever you press the button, it increases both for the battlecruiser, but only 1 for the Dreadnought. Similar with, Cygnus X, he kind of got the short end of the stick there. Energy Blast and Biodischarge don't get upgraded, even though he upgraded range. The range only affects his Beetlenisks. So that's, a little womp-womp for him. And these Tempests are kind of putting pressure on them, and they're saying, okay, now all back. The blue side is being extra cautious. They lost a guy in the very beginning, but they haven't, suffered any significant, danger zones since then, because they've been retreating on time. That's the hardest thing about Star Battle, is knowing when to retreat. Knowing when it's okay to put this distance between them, not try to get the extra little farm, maybe turn around, do a little damage, but while you're still on the shield, it's fine. Because right now, Perseverance is doing a lot of damage to him while he's not doing pretty much anything to them, nothing lasting at least. And these Tempests help with that as well. And now he has to commit. He's already in the range. He's like, okay, since I'm in 9 range, I can do this. Sentient Tempest, 125 and 200. 125 and 200, so even though you can't upgrade that, it's, it's still more damage. Jack? Right in the danger zone, but he wants to launch that secret, and it is good. He did retreat just in time. Perseverance, using those flaming hot Cheetos, using those afterburners to get on out of there. He is going to take a little bit of cold damage. He's going to be enough blackout. Perfect shot right there. And keeps those Tempests alive as well. And Minion launching its secret missile. So, a torpedo swing and a miss would have definitely hurt the other frigate right there. But it's just a timing attack. And unfortunately, the timing was just not quite right for them to take him out. Now, everybody's kind of retreating. Now, what's up with this? Cobalt and Maffuman and HWC and Minion all had to retreat because these Tempests are at 25. They're now at the point where they are a quite significant threat. When they have at 25, they have 12.5 armor, and they also do 62 damage right there. We got a HWC pushing on up, trying to do some damage, but they really have to coalesce around whoever is the person who's being attacked by the interceptors is. Because, like 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 right there. We all saw it. And we actually maybe forced Perseverance to retreat right there. We got Ascension. He's going to launch, he has his interceptors, plus his Tempest. He's basically had to divide what money goes where. His strategy has been so far, farm, and then decide which one of his children he loves the most. He puts them either into Tempest, lovely. Perseverance taken out! Perseverance taken out by Minion while I was talking. What just happened? Oh no, Minion missiles are way too good! And the frigate was just too damaged, and now the red side has to retreat. He used on Minion, but it's too late. If you get a kill, you just get your energy drain. That's that's worth it right there. Now it's a 3 versus 6. 3 versus 6. HWC moving on back. He's got the nuke. He's got a nuke. Minion, your missiles. Woof. Look at this. 192 speed. You can't escape this guy. You can't escape because he goes 192. You can't escape because he's at 11 range of his missiles. 130 damage per missile times, times 9 right now. And he still hasn't spent all of his money. Now he has. Let's see what it changed to while we're looking. 12! Even more, 144. So now, I mean, the only thing you can possibly do is, like, get some PvP, maybe? But PvP can be overcome if you, get some, if you get, what's it called? The Rip Ray Warheads, or Torpedo to the face? No, another clean shave right there. Onyx that just had barely escaping, the Fusion Torpedo. That's 6,000 damage in the Laser Pointer of Death. Beautiful play right there. Does hit both of them. Warping on up. Can I get a Vortex after this? Maybe? Let's find out. There's anything is a possibility, you know, as long as you get money. But the nuke is coming in. The nuke is coming in super slowly, but good enough to hit Senshin. It is. Oh, Senshin, it takes the entire nuke, but he's very close to base, so he's not going to die. Plus, he's got a buddy. He's got some healers. And it's Ichiman getting hit by the tower. It should be seen moving. The entire red side sort of like staying close, trying to figure out whether they want to pursue a tower. You really have to kind of like commit to it while there are people attacking you. And with Tempest and with Interceptors, that's a little less often happening. Blue side is pushing up. There are 3. 2 healers and carrier versus, you know, pretty much any ship you can imagine. We got 2 tanks, got a lot of missiles, we got a heavy damage dealer right there. Let's see. Now, as far as the energy war, though, we got 2 Ravens, both at the MP, over Blackout, both at the MP. HWC has lots of abilities, but Lockdown is not one of them. And Cygnus X does not have any energy either. Now, he has other abilities which are making up for it, but at the moment, nobody's draining Senshin's energy, nobody drains Onyx Net's energy, or Jax. So, you know, and the rest of the ships don't have the ability to drain energy. So like the carrier can't, the you know, dreadnoughts can't, the frigate can't. So the ships that could drain energy on the red side are not doing so because they decided to go for other things like super missiles that could take out Jack right there if he committed, but he doesn't want to quite do that because everybody's around him. His missiles are just so monstrous. And he's got quick reload as well. Immediately finishes the cooldown of Backlash Rockets. It immediately cools the finish down of each Backlash Rocket. Let's see. Trying to move on up. We got, you know, the carrier farming. Carrier trying to get as much farm as possible while the red side is tactically retreating. They're sort of hurt, but not really. That means that basically whatever money they're spending, 800 and, you know, 400, 552, and 370, are all, you know, going to go in, spend their money, and get on back. There's no need to stay there while you're being healed, because you're not being healed. We got our Tempest at 10, 16 range, and they're going to retreat back on his Zet. He's plagued, and another maybe like, you know, Side Blast could hurt him. Yeah, there we go. Now the Overlord says, hey, you know what? Throw another ability on the map. We got another Shrimp on the Barbie right there. We got Siphon Energy. Siphon Energy drains energy up to 300 over 10 seconds, and the Overlord gets 25% of the drained energy. So while Jack and Onyx Zet both have EMP, which drains up to 300 energy, they're not getting it. You know, they don't get it back. While Cygnus gets 25% of whatever energy he drains. Beautiful GAC on the Interceptors. The Interceptors are now shooting at 2.5 plus 2.5. They're shooting exactly half as fast as they would, which really affects them. I mean, sure, you're going to get damage with an Overload, but you're taking a lot less, and that's a strategy right there. It's going to put some pressure on them. He's going to slowly turtle time it up to base, and there we go. He chose Siege. Now Siege is, you know, it reduces your speed and mobility for the sake of high damage at long range. Only one Siege right now is right there, but look at this. Just keep the pressure on them. The entire red side just says, okay, click, bam, let's take out that tower. Do they get greedy? Maybe. They could. Siege, for Siege mode, in this mode, the Dreadnought has very long range and inflicts area damage. Dreadnought in this mode cannot attack targets at close range. And Torpedo. Boom. Senshin is gonna make it back. And it's Human is gonna put on pressure to the next tower. On to the next one. Cygnus. Oh, beautiful blackout. Affects everybody it hit. And his achievement is, unable to use his siege mode, but doesn't want to get out of combat mode. Shensin's going to have his interceptors out. He's also going to have his Tempest pushing on up. Now, you can shoot the Tempest or the interceptors with your siege mode, but it's just slower and it's not attacking the tower. But Cobalt's going to push on up. He's the tanky tank at the moment. Just doesn't have very much life. The interceptors. Oh no, another contaminate being used. In this tower, despite the great defense, I mean, he's only a couple shots away. One more shot will do it, and there we go. Blackout again! A second blackout on everybody. And we got some existential dread while the Dreadnought is being hit by Cobalt. Or Cobalt's being hit by Jack. Jack's being using that secret missile. 36 seconds. Now, at this point, 36 seconds is way too long to retreat. It goes 1.81 speed. You basically have to take a damage of 36. What's it called? 29-20 for both of them. They upgrade the same amount. So basically, that just means you either have to go out of combat for a while or take a whole bunch of damage. And it's fine to take damage in the short term, but it does add up quite quickly. So we got double Seeker Missile being launched whenever possible. HWC taking a bunch of damage. We got 1, 2 EMPs after you. And again, HWC doesn't have any energy drain ability just because he went for so many other things. He's got 500, but if 300 of it are being drained almost constantly, there's really just, at a certain point, less energy for abilities to do. Now let's see what type of damage the blue side can do, how much they can get. They have about, those numbers right there. That is the weird time to use that ability. Sickness Hex pressed his B key and lost it right there. Releases a burst of psionic energy, radiating outward from the Overlord, doing 1,000 damage and pushing everybody away. Where everybody was kind of already away. It's great for when they're surrounded. It's actually fantastic against interceptors. When you're just about to die, you press the B key, everybody is being pushed away. So looks like the blue side is going to retreat. They're going to have some Tempest to help them out there. Onyxet trying to get those last little bit of sweet cash right there. He knows his laser batteries are, the only, sustained damage he can do. And oh no, minion, you're in range because you're super close and the torpedo is going to... Oh, being blacked out. It was blacked out by, one of them right there, by Onyxet. And Shensin was sort of turning, but he definitely was helped out by the blackout right there. EMP, hitting and as they shoot him. He also drains shields. Don't forget about draining shields, it's a good thing. We got the double thing right there. We got the singular siege and maybe a double siege. Not double siege. We got ASH Human blacked out right there. He's in position to do some cool stuff, but he can't if he's in the blackout. Beautiful play. Beautiful torpedo. Swing and miss. We got PEDs all over the place. PEDs being used to great effect. PED blocks all the missiles as well. And we got these Overlord trying to retreat, and he does take a whole bunch of damage. 1.92 speed. The interceptors go at 2.5, but they do 72 damage per shot, and they're so good. It's so easy to get sneaky kills with them. And that's exactly what the blue side's hoping for. And he's going to launch them. Cygnus is going to use his kaboom. The Bobby Hill, that's my first I don't know you button has been pressed, and just killed the interceptors in the area. He also stopped his buddies, but he's okay with that. He'll live. Realistically, he'll live, otherwise he would have died. And he's going to make it back to base. Overlord wasn't quite in the burning, so he's going to, regenerate. Everybody's going to run away from the Seeker Missile. We got 516, we got 346, we got 600, and 329. I'd like to talk about how much money you have, because essentially, we're going to keep an eye on Cygnus right here. He's going to be our little buddy. Little science experiment lab rat buddy. Every time that you press a button, it increases in price. So let's say, right here, he didn't buy any bio discharge. It's 25 bucks. Okay, so every time you press the button, it's $5 more expensive. Exponential growth. So 7 upgrades on his exit list. If you wanted any more, it would cost 60. adrenal glands, his energy. Obviously, he really loves that. It's $100 to upgrade it anymore. 85 for Side Blast. So, you can get as much, you can put as much money into whatever you want to. It's just going to cost so much more. We're going to definitely keep an eye on Shensin as a example of this. He loves his Interceptors, and he loves his Tempest as well. And every time he wants to upgrade either of them, it's going to cost him. Jack, you know, he put a lot of it into shields because he has to survive and also transfer shields. And their best defense, I guess, is laser batteries, which is fine. They're throwing up some PDDs preemptively. A-okay, they live for like 45 seconds, so that's okay. Torpedo, in-base torpedo, NSA Human doing some damage. Blackout on 1, 2, 3 ships right there. The HWC launching the Luke and launching, you know, the Yamato, but HWC is also being hit by Tempest, and the Tempest is doing so much damage. 540 every couple seconds. NSA Human is doing less and less beautiful vortex. Now the Tempest are going to move in a little bit closer. They're going to shoot Cygnus because he's in range right now. And will this be enough? Will this be the time to finally get a ship pick up? The Tempest are in perfect position to do so. The Overlord is using side of everything. And we got another people pushing up. We got Shensin trying to. I said wants to do it so badly. He's just going to go laser batteries until they die. The Battle Raven, you know, is being used right there. 26 every 0.2 seconds. Fine, I'll take it. Shensin taking a whole bunch of damage. We got these Tempests doing a whole bunch as well. Protected by the point defense drone. So NAC Chicken could not do it. Fine, you can plague them, but they're not going to die. Onyx, whenever he has energy, which is, you know, I guess, he had 725 to start. He just kept on pressing buttons until he doesn't have any energy left. And then we can get it back. He's relatively, you know, back there. That was so close to a pickup. Both Dreadnoughts had to retreat. Maybe see, and that is the danger. When you're in a siege mode, you have such a reduced armor that the things that are normally painful-ish to a Dreadnought, like Interceptors, are super painful. They feel what everybody else is feeling. So, like, I guess he has armor, but you know, the Minion does not. Let's see. Shensin pushing up. Interceptor being mean. Interceptor is also getting a little bit of love from Plasma Surge. Plasma Surge is great. Interceptors, they not only spent all the money getting them 272 damage, 30 upgrades. He also bought some, so he has up to 16 instead of 10. He also has Plasma Surge. Plasma Surge recharges 125 shield points to friendly light units in the target area, and gives them extra life, essentially. So makes your Interceptor is more tanky. You can also do it against, what's it called? You know, the Tempest, should you choose. Blue side, being cautious. If you're down in people, you gotta be up in smarts. So that's what they're doing. They're just retreating, giving all that space to do whatever they want. Onyx tried to move in, but he said, you know, I couldn't quite do it. At a certain point, you're going to take damage from Minion. He has 12 range, but many of your abilities probably won't be at 12. But Super Missile, okay. Except for Super Missile, most of them you're gonna basically take some damage. Beautiful Blackout being used. You're gonna push the you know, red side back a little bit. And again, I mean, they're not really hurt. You know, Onyx will get back, you know, to full health right quick. Shensin's gonna watch his Tempest, and Siege being placed. Siege being placed really close to base. I mean, like super close. You got Secret Missile right there, and it's a Human trying to push it as much pressure on as possible. And ooh, Blackout stopped everything. Blackout stopped 1, 2, 3, 4 ships right there. Everyone was stacked on top of each other, so the Blackout affected everybody. We got, you know, it's just vortexed as well. And now, Cobalt in such low health that we can repair bots. That's fine, but he is out of condition for a while, at least effectively. He can't rush in to help his buddies. So let's see if these Tempests do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Tempests right there. 3 and 3. And they're going to just do as much damage as possible. And it's a Human's going to take so much more. The, you know, GAC is being used but will that be enough? Oh, come on, he's gonna push. Onyxet wants to kill him with his Seeker Missile and use his little everything possible, his burst lasers, whatever. He's just diving into battle, baby. And more Seeker Missile, keep an eye on it. Will it, that connects, that most definitely will take him out. There's not enough energy to drain or repair. Boom! NSH Human taken out by the blue side right here. And the golden armada being used. And now they're just trying to capitalize on that. Because I mean, like, look at this. Cobalt's pretty hurt. HWC's pretty hurt. Minion's not. You know, he's fine. But Cygnus is. And so 3 of these are Ascensions, and 3 of these are not Ascensions. They're just the houses. 24 upgrades, 300 damage. I don't know why it says. I guess it's to. I guess that's the towers. And 620 to massive. Versus 4 upgrades just by being around for long enough. 140 damage to towers, 440 to massive. But if you notice, they have the same amount of health. You can't upgrade the amount of health that a Tempest has. You can only upgrade how much damage you're doing, and you gotta zip on out of there. But look at this, Onyxet, 2.02 speed. I think he spent the 800 to get the 2.02 speed. Even though Ravens are pretty zippy, that's zippier than most. Zippity deep job, push him up there. We got him. Onyxet, he's just aggressive with his burst lasers. He says, hey, if you're in blackout, you do 0 damage to me. So you know what's bigger than 0? My burst laser is 26. So there we go. It doesn't matter how big your burst laser is, it's how you use it. That's what he wants to do in HWC. He's going to get a whole bunch of damage. He's got just enough energy because of the defensive shield and enough buddies to stay around it. But that could have been another sneaky pickup from Shensin right there. What? HWC was killed by Jack. Oh my god. At base. He was killed in base. Oh man. Seeker Missile. Oh, Seeker Missile is monstrous. It chases for 36 seconds and does not give a F. We keep it PG on this channel, but we can't control it with these Tempest taking out tower. Now, come on, guys. I know you just pushed it back from a 6 versus 3 to a 3 versus 3, but you can't be too greedy. Cobalt pushes up the defensive tower defender right there. Here's Fusion Torpedo. Why not? Fusion Torpedo is fine. It's a good move. But Minion, you're going to do so much damage, but you really have to upgrade Ripwave Warheads, because right now a lot of it's being blocked. Boom! He's using that Bobby Hill button. Cygnus, gotta move on back. Don't want to get Seeker. And I'm not saying that lightly. Seeker Missile does 30, 40 damage and chases forever. So 36 seconds. So basically, you can be across the map and just launch some Seeker Missiles, set it and forget it. Now this is helpful to not have your base die, but at this point they're not actually being attacked anymore. So you gotta get on out of siege mode into combat mode. Beautiful, contaminate being used. Point defense drone being launched. Every energy it has is either a laser or a missile blocked. So basically they're just overwhelming it. Minion, he launches 9 times, but that is still going to be some amount of damage blocked. We got Ascension farming up Onyxet, and it's actually a 16 versus 16 as well, which is fantastic. Meaning, if the blue side wins, they get 16. If the blue side loses, they lose 16. Similar, equal opposite reaction for the red side. We got these farming mutalisks. And these farming mutalisks are the best way of farming for the Overlord, but he does still have Energy Blast. It's not for farming. He's using it right now, but don't let your eyes deceive you. It's so, if he was ever attacked by interceptors, he could, not like a snowball's chance in hell, but like an icicle's chance in some place a little bit less warm. Basically, it's just to barely do some damage against the interceptors. And he's going to launch a Side Blast. Side Blast, hey, 30-25 damage versus Violent Shields. really can use damage. On Exet, you're out of shields. You're not even a shield tank, you're just a shield transfer unit. And another thing is do it. Oh no! Any more of these be taken out? Come on, let's see the Archangels. They had 2 Archangels. The Archangels take them out. They're basically the scouts of the red side. Oh man, minions. But he also wasn't being healed. But now it's back to a 2 versus 3. I mean, not back to a 2 versus 3. It is a 2 versus 3 for the first time ever. We got a Cobalt moving in. He just, I guess he's super tanky. Like he has 56 base armor, but all that base armor goes away when he's in combat mode, in siege mode. Battle station, doing what it can. It does 100 damage versus the interceptors. The interceptors have 2 shots basically. Cobalt's gonna move on in. He's blacked out, so he's not actually doing damage. He's just taking a whole bunch. Let Minion do the damage. And Minion just pushed up, while there was a PvP. Minion could get some Earthwave Warheads. That is a great way of pushing through the energy. The quick defense charge. It does cost energy, right? But it might be worth it. Those are the most defended Tempests by anybody by just like PvDs. There's no ships that can really help them out. They're on their own. They just have a whole bunch of mechanical support right there. We got a Minion finishing up. Beautiful Contaminate again. Just keeping on shooting them with reducing that attack speed by 50 is invaluable because they do so much damage. They do so much damage. They're great at being sneaky, picking up kills. If they do half the damage, that means you survive the twice as long. Torpedo being used, but that didn't get started. We got a vortex. We got a vortex being used on the frigate right there. Now Cobalt is trying to inch on up. Okay, good. He shoots the Tempests because the Tempests are about to rain fire on this frigate. But now these ones are. But Minion's a little further away. He's using the 1.92 speed, and he's going to maybe make it back to base. Interceptors are coming on in. Interceptors can do a whole bunch. They are contaminated. They are going to get killed. But that was almost a pick up right there by the blue side. Tempest do so much damage, and it's really good that Cobalt decided to shoot them with his siege mode. It does, auto target, so he could have shot something else that was not that. He really chose the right target at the right time for the right reason. Interceptor is being used. I mean, not really the list. I like them the same. 8 upgrades is great. And see, it does say that it bounces 2 times, doing 33% of that damage. It's just his way of farming. His Mutalisks are not, on par with the Interceptors. Not only because they weren't upgraded as much, but also they only have health. They don't have shields. So the Interceptors have health and shields, right? Thank you. Let me love you. Over here. 2.5. 72. Should I shoot faster? Find out. No, they fire the same amount of speed. Fire the same amount of fastness. That's called shooting as quickly as the other guy. Jack moving in. Jack the Battle Raiden. Jack the Battle Raiden. There's 20 burst lasers. 20 burst lasers. You know what? He has no other way of sustaining damage. He otherwise only can rely on Synchronous, and he's already upgraded it to not as much as you could possibly do, but like as much as you can possibly afford. So he's saying, okay, this is the best I got. I ain't got missiles, I can't install them. This isn't warships where I can like modify my ship and then mess up the build order and never, be able to fix it realistically. I don't like that game, I tried. We got Burst Laser, which is basically his way of farming, and you know what? If you're gonna get close, I'm gonna do 48 damage to you. That actually does not affect, what's it called? Cobalt with his 56 armor. Doesn't care. But, certainly kind of affects the Overlord, and, does affect the frigate, right? The frigate, of course, does much more damage, but, it's the best you can do with what you got. And what he can do is keep on pressing that F key. Press F to, pay respects to all of the, damage that's being absorbed. Frigate moving in. Frigate, why don't you have any Earthwave Warheads? He's just trying to. Beautiful juke right there. Except, whoa, he forgot about the ice skating physics. forget about the ice skating physics. He wanted to press the red beam of death, but forgot that he didn't just, you don't just stop in this game. You keep on going for quite a while afterwards. Ninja's just going to try to push up. He got a Cobalt pushing on up. Blackout being used against him. Now they're going to turn around and turn the tides and attack him as well. The Tempests are still shooting. We got interceptors following up, but the Cobalt is going to make it on back. He's the tank. He's still very susceptible to the smallest interceptors right there. We got Sickness. We got a Plague being used. Plague being used against the Tempest. Not the worst idea because it just reduces how much damage. Throwing through 44, it's a little bit few less shots than if he had full health, of course. They got Cobalt going into siege mode. The Tempests are scary. I get the concept. Cygnus pushing on up, and but now Cygnus really just has to put more and more into whatever he can. But look at that. These Tempests shoot at 18 range. The best way of dealing with them is to go around them, but sometimes that's impossible. Minion, what are you doing? Oh, he's gonna hit his hot Cheetos. He's gonna move on up. Hit his afterburners. He wants to farm. He wants to find them. He wants to shoot them down with his missiles. Look at this. 165 damage times 9 at 12 range. It says light, but that's not in effect right now. If he gets close, if he gets anywhere close to this carrier has 10 upgrades in shields, still gonna die. Still gonna die because frigates are just heavy damage boys. These laser batteries are also similarly, chunky at this point, and his speed is just fantastic. 1.82 speed is good, but boom, torpedo, and he's gonna zip away. 2.12 speed, but Cygnus is gonna try to shoot as much as possible. We got a vortex being used. Cygnus needs just out of the way. Jack taking a whole bunch of damage by Minion. Minion's gonna push up. He's going to try. They're gonna try to do as much damage as possible. They know that the Tempest and the Vortex combination are bad, and Cygnus using his Sonic Shockwave to try to kill stuff. Cobalt deciding that this is not worth it. You want to get out of siege mode into combat mode, and then back into siege mode. He's gonna try to farm. Now who's longer? 19 range versus 19 range. Both the Dreadnought and the Tempest are at 19 range. They can cancel each other out. You can see through because you do have a Fog of War. Jack's gonna move on in. Jack's gonna go and blackout on Cobalt. Cobalt taking a whole bunch of damage. He's planning to get out of combat mode while he's in the blackout, which is a great thing to do. Luckily, he already had his little protective field up there. Minion getting pushed. Minion trying to do as much damage as possible. Look how much he's trying. The interceptors are just so good. Interceptors all around him. Cygnus already used his Sonic Shockwave. Minion just relying on his laser batteries and the whatever else his buddies can do for him. We have to get on out of there. Now you see this because he has 16 upgrades on his shields. The shields are going to automatically regenerate. The regeneration rate also increases as you get more shields. So he is able to kind of permanently get a little bit of shield life. It is worth it to do that. I think it starts at about 10. So everybody who has shields is doing that. So 16, 11. We got 10 right there, and 17. Plague is just so effective against Ravens. Ravens only have 550. Actually, he upgraded 5,000. Base hull. He upgraded 5 times, so he has more. But 1 plague, 2 plagues. You're back in the hospital. We got Cobalt moving up. He wants to defend. He says, "Okay, we're doing this. We're going, length for length right there." And he's going to try. Okay, he hit Jack. That means the Tempests are going to shoot a little bit more. Minion moving on. He's going to take them out. They are taken out right now. But Ascension has so much energy. 775? It's 775. So even though it costs 225 to use his Tempest, he can do that pretty often, even while pressing other buttons like Vortex and Plasma Surge and Warp In to get more interceptors after they die. Minion, he can't drain energy. He can just do as much as possible. It's not helpful right now. Maybe if he wants to upgrade Cloak, they are like slightly helpful for him, but not much more helpful. We got Cobalt pushing up. We got, you know, these Tempests staying around the PvD. Jack trying to put PvDs wherever he possibly can. He loves that FP, and the FP loves him. And then it's been saving the blue side a lot. Cobalt's gonna push on up. I believe that Gatling Cannon can go through PvD, but his laser battery certainly can. And it does make it. He flew past the Tempest. He should have been shooting them, but he kind of didn't. Seeker Missile. You never want to stop with the Seeker Missile. You want to stop right at the back of the base. Not sorry. Push through, push through, push through. Is that going to be enough? And it actually, he'd used his protective field to do less damage, but still took the damage. Still took it. Like had to, you know, get all the way back to base and then still take the damage. Jack, moving on up. He's 25 with his burst lasers. He says, who needs missiles? I've got a battle rating. He's Ascension, 30 upgrades on interceptors, and we haven't seen any Tempest spawn since he came out, so like, or see. But I'm sure they'll get even bigger. We got an overload, 900 damage at 19 range. Every 3.3 seconds is about 900 damage. Actually, that's 900 damage. Which is basically like thousands of damage. Backlash rockets, you know, you get the right position. Cygnus, getting all the damage. Interceptors, gotta really baby them. Gotta really baby them around the plagues, around the contaminate. Into an area of effect things. Now, Minion doesn't have the area of effect. Cobalt did not choose to upgrade his area of effect thing. So, you know, they just relying on their laser batteries, and the laser batteries are super upgraded. Well, you know, it is maybe an idea that we can go for. Torpedoes, ooh, gonna miss. But he was turning in the right direction. He wanted to run away from the Overlord, but almost ran away from the Overlord into the loving arms of the Red Demon Laser of Death. We got the Sky Furies. The Sky Furies, you can't choose to like press the upgrade button, like X, you know, Hero Attack 3X. But it just is a factor of time that they get upgraded. So the tower is more armory and shieldy than it was. Still does, you know, the same amount of damage. Swinging the missile in the vortex. You all saw it. Ascension. This Tempest. Oh, we can only take out one of them, and he's gonna just keep on pushing, keep on pushing. We need to use this Dreadnought's ability to like take out the other person's ability. It's a who can be in the right position at the right time, and they are just recruiting and with plenty of time to spare. Whew. Now we see some mines. Now we see some mines. Now that's just something. There's ways of identifying if there's mines in the area. Like you could EMP them, but mostly the way of finding out if there's mines in the area is by having them explode on you. And they do 670 damage. They are permanently cloaked, you cannot see them. And that might be a way of getting a sneaky kill. Or if nothing else, preventing more and more chasing of the team all the way to base. Protecting this battle station because they really want it alive. And the reason why they want it alive is because without one, you're kind of a sad mothership. Look at this. No repulsor cannon, no purifier beam. You're just kind of alone. You can't take out interceptors. You don't do any damage. You've got no buddies. You're just kind of there to, you know, be the thing that could end the game if you are lost. As opposed to this healthy command center has Devastator missiles to shoot down interceptors that do 250. That's actually enough to kill these interceptors, even though they're upgraded quite a bunch. And laser beam is you know 100 damage at 0.1 seconds. So it's 20. It's 100. So that's quite a bunch more. And that's really just dependent on this tower being alive. As soon as this tower is not alive, those interceptors, which can chase you all the way to like here, can chase you all the way to base and in base. Because your mother can no longer be with you anymore, and the devastating missiles are not going to protect you. We got a whole bunch of pings right there, and they're saying, hey, mines are here. Now let's go do the Ascension Cam. Ascension Cam. I know, I should know. It's with these buttons. Okay, it's 6. Now Ascension, he does not see mines. He knew that there was some kind of in this area. He might not know that there's some right here. He might not know that he's in the danger zone right there. And that's a good way of, getting the sneaky kill. Cygnus X really gotta go around them. You cannot get close. Minion is just building up mines and trying to put as many on the board as possible. Right now there's basically an entire control group of them. Seeker, torpedo, Seeker leader. Beautiful shot. And it does drain all the shields. Oh, but not quite enough. Minion turns just in time. Cygnus X pushing up. Cygnus X wants to get as close as possible to take out the Ascension, and one more shot could possibly have done it. Secret missile. Oh no, blackout. For the second time, the blackout saved another ship right there because Shensin had so little health that an ion blast would probably take him out, or any rounds of missiles. And the missiles are going at a 12 range, and the ion cannon was charging up and just barely stopped by this electromagnetic pulse. So now they gotta be careful about these mines, which is good and true, but what are you gonna do about them? You can't see them, you can't detect them. You have to kind of just know that they're in an area and avoid that area. But if you're trying to attack an area, like the tower that has mines, you can't avoid it. So you just kind of hope you don't run into them and, wait for them to time out, but they don't time out. I mean, they take 600 StarCraft seconds to time out, and that's forever. Dreadnought, in the open, you do want to strategically use your siege, being out in the open, even though you're right next to mines, that was smart, it's still pretty risky. It's a risky strategy. Basically, heavy blackout, that's still on cooldown. Vortex is still on cooldown. They're as vulnerable as they can be at the moment. So they're putting that extra bit of damage of range. Carriers, he's been upgrading his range so it affects his particle disruptors and the interceptors. But really, it's just those are just for light defense. Maybe if they get close in farming, but really, if you're close enough to using your lasers, you're in trouble right there. Cygnus trying to, he launches his own minions to try to save him. These interceptors moving on up. Jack not knowing where the mines are. Ooh, but he saw the Cygnus coming out of him, and he wants to be a battle raven. He doesn't want to die while doing so. Boom, 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 boom. They want him in his room. And Cygnus is going to push. He is gonna push. He was at base, but the interceptor was so damage intensive and beautiful. Vortex. Will the blue side be able to capitalize on this? They have the Tempest. The Tempests are hitting the battle station because they can't, vortex the battle station. But is this going to be enough? Cygnus is going to try to move on it. Plague them. Plague some interceptors as well. Maybe not. No. Oh well. Blackout being used. Cobalt having to retreat. Vortex and torpedo, swing and a miss. You got Cygnus moving on up. You got the 1-2 combination. Minion doing so much. PBD blocking whatever you possibly can. There's no good way to glance. You got Shensin launching out some Tempests as well. 41, 960. Taking out Minion. Taking out Minion. The frigate is no longer a threat, but the mines still are a threat. He doesn't have to, he's under no pressure to exploit them. Cobalt gonna move on up. Those temps, yeah, those 44 upgraded temps, I will say, are those temps. Cobalt moving on up. These interceptors flew past Cobalt because we were going to be looking at visual range, and he's still going to have to retreat. He's using his repair bots to repair, because he's otherwise heavily damaged. He can use his repair bots, now he's out of that. But still, the amount of health he's running around, these interceptors are crazy amount of damage. You got Cygnus right there. He's got every ability in the book. He's still an Overlord. And being an Overlord means that you just never have that much health. He upgraded his armor. That's fine. He upgraded his health. That's okay. There are roles in this game. Right now, we got a tank, and we got a mage heavy damage dealer. We got a healer type dude, and a long distance damage dealer, don't get close to the people type guy. Great ship descriptions. I promise I'm not an admiral in the Navy. We got a carrier moving on back. But these Tempests are doing it. These Tempests did it. So now, if the Interceptors get close, they can chase people all the way in base. Cobalt extending this, using his Dreadnought to be as much as possible. And really, it's just like, you can be in the right position. Because if the anti-grain is there, I mean, look at this, 3390, that's a great shot right there. That drains so much. Boom. Tempest, take it out. Cygnus moving up. We got 42 upgrades, 980 shots, 20 range is now 70. Nope, this is the same. They both upgrade the range. The range costs so much money to upgrade. It was $800 to get that amount. If he wants 431 range, you can get it. It just costs 1,600 money. If you want to upgrade your laser battery, that's fine, 125. But look at the Interceptors. I want to do that. Kinetic weapons is his Gatling cannon plus his Gauss cannon, and that's going to be 165 smackers. Any of these just get so much. The only thing he has not upgraded is Griffins, because Griffins, they're not going to do much against Interceptors anyway. Maybe if it was like for fun, trying to like, I don't even know when they're there, but kind of just for farming. And at this point, that's not really there. Cygnus, get closer to base. You're in base, but you're not safe. Because these Tempests can, siege them wherever they're there, and they'll be that, and be protected right there. And these Interceptors can go on further. It's really just positioning. Now, the Dreadnought's trying to be inside the base. Oh, look at the little turtle retreat. He's trying to be, like, close enough that, like, you can't really click on them very properly. Kind of like, magic boxing it, I guess. And they're just saying Vortex rush base. So what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to use the Vortex on somebody, use the Blackout on the Dreadnought. I was going to say somebody, but it's obviously not on Cygnus. But he's going to come on in there and Blackout anyway. He's going to Blackout into his Battle Raging, his 68 damage, launching his EMPs. He just wants to do damage. We got this Shensin warping on him. We got, the Battle Raven Jack killing everybody with his little laser batteries. And it looks like Cobalt's going to try to push on out, but now he's outside of the healing damage. He's going to take a whole bunch right there. We got our Shensin right there. He's going to use that Vortex on him right there. And whoa, almost Vortex himself in the process. But now these Tempests can possibly just push some pressure on the base. Looks like, the Overlord is now back in action right here. He's going to push on up. Going to try to see what he can possibly do, but he really, has very little health to play with. And he was EMP'd. And will he maybe try to do some crazy thing with the Kinetic Shockwave? We don't know. He's just taking damage right there. He's just moving around. The Vortex is fading. You got Cygnus taking a whole bunch of damage, and he is taken out. I think he left earlier, and that was Cobalt trying to hire two ships right there. And he's still in this game, even though he, is one ship to two. He's still in this game. Command Center taking damage. Now there's basically two ways of winning. You can either kill every ship, almost there, or kill the mothership, almost there. We're going to figure out which one is going to happen, but you can still make mistakes. You can get too close to this. Look at this. He upgraded his, Protoss Plasma Shields 21 times to have 16,500 life. Honey Badger don't care. Cobalt don't care. He's 22, 25, 50, damage on his Gauss cannon. 2.25 attack, and he's being healed. You can't stop the mothership from healing, and although he's low armor, he's less low armor each time he presses the armor button. So 68. There we go. Beautiful Blackout. Now the blue side's going to try to move on in. I think this might be the attack that takes out the ship here. Now we're going to see which one actually happens, because the Tempest, you can't tell them to shoot somebody else. They might actually be a better option to take out the command center, but they couldn't do that. You can't command your Tempest, you just create them. And what has he created? This monster Tempest. Come on in, 43, 1,000, 1,000! Kinetic Overload. And Jack the Battle Raven gonna move on in. Jack the Battle Raven launching, Super Missile. He knows that, this Dreadnought is pretty scary. He's gonna go around the side. He's gonna try to use his burst lasers and secret missiles to just take out the command center, because that's the other way of winning. And will this be enough? We got draft deciding, and it looks like now the Tempests are out there, and but they're doing as much as they possibly can. Kobo has to actually be cautious, because he has to try to also worry about taking out some of these Phoenixes, which are upgraded right now. Because the only thing that's shooting the Phoenixes is his Gauss cannon, because he's in combat, he's in shield mode, or the farming ships themselves, and these farming ships are not quite as good as these farming ships, right? No, they are. They just look different. Okay, they look different, but they look cooler, and the intimidation factor is important. Senshin, Neato Tempest placement right there, to try to see if you can just focus on the mothership without not getting the option. We got Vortex being used, and this Tempest actually does not know. There we go. Now it's being used, and they're just gonna keep on doing with about 3,000 life left. Just a couple more Tempest shots. Will they go take him out? Vortex, blackout, and more shots. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is going to be GG. Thank you so much for everybody who sends their games. I really appreciate it. You guys are the best. Make sure you send your replays here to MaffumanCasting@gmail.com to watch your games here. Press like, press subscribe. We're doing StarCraft Star Battle all the time.